This is the Practical Tactical Podcast.
Hey folks, got a good show for you today. We're going to have a guest and a friend of mine from NWA Prepper talk to us a little bit. We're going to ask him some questions and get some information from him. Just one quick disclaimer, this was recorded in a active fire station. Of course, we couldn't get through it without them having a call and breaking things up, so the audio and the editing might be a little choppy, but we're going to get through it. So before we get that, we'd like to make a shout out to NWA Defense. If you're in Northwest Arkansas and you're looking for firearms training, they're a great source. Look them up at nwadefense.com or on Facebook under NWA Defense. Also, U.S. Law Shield. If you want some comfort and some peace of mind as you go out into the world and carry concealed and deal with any self-defense situations, it's a real affordable and great option for some self-defense coverage if you actually get in one of these kind of incidents, and I highly recommend them. All right, so without further ado, let's move into the interview with NWA Prepper. So we've got Travis with NWA Prepper with us here today. Hey Travis, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, a little hot, a little toasty. We hopefully will get through this recording without some emergency or something to interrupt us again. So, first off, tell us about your website, your blog, NWA Prepper, kind of what you do.
I had to bring it up to remind myself. I started a YouTube channel about emergency preparedness, and it kind of grew from there to include my Facebook and Patreon, and I tried to blog for a while, and it's just kind of grown.
You said you tried to blog, so you don't blog anymore? Or?
I have a few, but for the most part, instead of written blogs, I'll do videos for YouTube, and then my written blogs I post straight to my Patreon page. And
so you vlog then, isn't that what it's called? It's vlogging?
Well, I have a blog too.
Oh, no.
But yes, I am a vlogger, I guess.
So technology's already outpacing me. So I guess, is that how you got your start with blogging or YouTube, or what was really the thing that got you started?
I had followed a YouTube channel called Southern Prepper 1.
Okay. And
I watched all his videos, and he did a scenario video. But it wasn't just like throwing out a scenario. He was in his communication shed, and he was talking to the camera like he would be talking to a teammate.
Right.
And, and he'd ask a question like, man, I don't know what we're going to do if XYZ happens. Man, that's a good idea. We need to do this and that. And I really, for some reason, that story, that presentation of that intrigued me. And so I thought, I can do that. And so I made my first video on a crappy old iPhone that wasn't turned sideways with terrible sound, but I had a good time.
Yeah. And
it actually, every time I do a video, it makes me want to practice my skills or learn something new, or
it's kind of like you really want to master something, try to teach it.
Yes.
And you learn it to a new level, deeper, broader, and that makes sense. So, just for full disclosure here, I definitely consider Travis a friend. He is a co-worker. I do some volunteer work with him as well. But the reason we're having on the show is, one, I think he's got a lot of information, and I'm also trying to introduce my audience to his material as well, because if there's anything, I think, especially us quote unquote gun guys, gun community, gun culture, whatever you want to call it, one of the big things we kind of leave out is, we have 8,000 rounds and 4 different ARs and all this stuff, but could we survive a week without utilities or water or a trip to the store to get food? So, and I know personally we've had a recent issue where we had some water and flooding and a boil order and all this stuff, and literally not even a $20 item that was recommended from Travis that I got on Amazon. Just threw it in the cart when I was making some other order. Ended up using it for a couple days just to literally be able to just keep using the water as normal and not have an issue. So I think that's a big thing as far as being prepared, and a lot of people kind of fall short on that. But
well, yes. My whole thing is
I don't know if that was a good question or just a
no,
statement.
it made me think of something.
Oh, okay.
That really makes me think of, I'm not a zombie apocalypse prepper.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think our entire government's going to crumble in a day. You know, I can't say that there's not going to be a national emergency, but I'm preparing for the flood, like you just talked about, the tornadoes, you know, local and regional emergencies. And if I'm prepared for those, then I'm prepared for zombie apocalypse too, just by default.
Yeah. I can kind of see both sides of it. I think some people take it too far, but I think it's kind of a way to, in some ways, to reach out to more people to get them into prepping or doing something by doing the whole zombie thing.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of see it, but or they think that the government's got. Some people get really crazy with it, but I'm with you. I think I don't know who it was. I think it was actually he's on YouTube. It escapes me right now, but he goes, helping you live a better life if things get bad or even if they don't.
Jack Spirko,
yeah. I used to follow him for a while. I don't have as much time to follow up on all the different vloggers and bloggers and YouTubers, but I do remember that he always made that point that stuck with me is, you know, your prep should not be that the world is gonna end and you're gonna have some strange zombie apocalypse band together like, I don't know, Mad Max, but literally if somebody turned the power breaker off tonight, could you make it till next week or tomorrow and not, you know, totally starve or die because you don't have power,
needed to boil your water.
Or needed to boil water, but hey, if you don't have power, how do you boil water? You know, it goes on and on and on and on. But so more on you start doing the YouTube videos. When you say you do YouTube videos, what do you typically do with that? Is that what kind of material or content?
Well, I've got two kind of focuses on my videos. The one that I really enjoy the most, I call it my cheap preps. Mm-hmm. Or in my head, every time I have a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, the $20 fill-up for the family, $20 is a budget amount that almost anybody can do.
Right.
And so I try to find practical preparations that you can get for $20 or under. And so I do videos like that. And then my other side of my channel is skills and information to use the $20 preps.
Gotcha.
And some of it, I'd throw some of my opinions and thoughts in there too.
I'll be careful with those on the internet. They'll get you.
Oh yeah, people put me in my place right away.
Now, was it you that got me on the 2-liter bottles water storage, or was that somebody else?
It was somebody else.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's a great idea though.
I know you did something recently, because I think I put in a contribution there, but I don't think I won. But you had some kind of competition thing and the reason I bring this up is because you give away actual good, decent prizes with this. Not just some, hey, you're awesome, thumbs up, but like you're like going to send you a medical kit or send you something. So tell me more about that.
I call it my Prepper Challenge. NWA Prepper, whatever month. I don't do it every month, but every month or so. And I call it my Prepper Challenge. And the last one we did was to plant something. And to make a video, you don't have to be in it. You don't have to speak. I try to make it easy, but not easy enough because I'm giving away between $50 and $100 worth of stuff. And so
yeah, cha-ching. I
want it to be at least enjoyable to me.
Right.
In addition to maybe learning some things and learning some new ideas. But I pick a topic about preparedness. I've done show me your first aid kit. I've done show me your $20 preps. And then I've done growing things. And at the end of I usually do about 5 weeks worth of giving people time to get their entries in. And then I throw I show everyone the list of names. with numbers by everyone's name, so everyone knows I'm not cheating, you know. And then I throw the numbers one at a time in a bucket, and I spin it around, and my son or my daughter or whoever draws a number out, and I'm like, "Yeah, you won."
So blame the children that I didn't win.
Yes, it's all Scout's
your
fault. And then I mail them, and I try to. The prize will always contain like an NWA Prepper sticker. I've got these little buttons, magnets. If I have a shirt in their size, I'll toss in a shirt. And then I have a mug. It's just, you know, a Yeti clone or one of those insulated mugs that I like certain colors, some I don't, and I'll put a sticker on. So it's at least that stuff.
That's already. I mean, you start adding that stuff up. That's nearly $50.
Yeah, that's if there's a shirt in there, it's over $50.
Wow. Okay.
And then whatever the topic was, I'll put in some prep items related to the topic.
Gotcha.
Currently, my big thing is the Moray knives.
Mm-hmm.
Just an inexpensive, you know, prepper knife.
Is that a fixed blade?
It is a fixed blade.
Yeah.
Dave Canterbury is one of their big time guys, and it's just a really inexpensive but a good quality blade. And I've got a guy here locally who trades me some long-term storage food that I have a lot of for those brand new, and so I've been throwing those in addition to, like, the last one was gardening. I threw in some heirloom seeds, and you know, it just kind of depends on what's.
Oh, I'm familiar with these. These are kind of a utility, multi-purpose, not super big, not super small kind of knife. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard about them before. They kind of have almost like a cult-like following in the kind of prepper community. Seems like a lot of people go to those.
Well, when we're done here, there's one in the door of my truck you need to check out. They're just because they're inexpensive and good quality and easy to sharpen, and they stay sharp.
It looks like what, $15, $20?
Yeah,
glancing through here.
They're always between $15 and $20, and that fits in with my $20 preps.
Right. Not
to mention it's a lightweight. I mean, that bottle of water weighs more than that knife, and it's just a great tool. And if I lose it or it breaks, okay.
Gotcha. That's the way it works. You get something cheap, like a cheap knife, cheap watch, something, whatever. That doesn't break. Sunglasses, cheap sunglasses never break.
Absolutely.
It's always the Oakleys. Okay, so what other... is there any other activities, groups? I mean, like I said, obviously you're a full-time firefighter. You do some other volunteer work. What other groups are you involved with?
Well, the big thing that takes a lot of my time is I do scouting, formerly known as. Well, the Boy Scouts.
Right.
I've always done that, but which is probably the core of my being prepared mindset was probably from a youth in Boy Scouts.
So did you do Boy Scouts before you started doing this, I assume?
Oh, yeah. I've been in scouting since I was 5 years old.
Gotcha.
And even before I had children, I was still in scouting, and I've never stopped scouting. But so I do that, and then I've done a whole. There's always all kinds of prepper groups and emergency groups. And I've played with some of those, but here lately there's what most people call a MAG group or a mutual assistance group, which is, and I have a couple that I'm involved with, but they're circles of friends. I mean, you know, and you're like-minded, so you all believe in similar things. You all enjoy similar things. I can't think of actually a friend that I go around with that's not a firearm person. And so we can go to the range, we can sit around and watch television and work on our rifles or our pistols and, you know, just clean them and tweak them and play with them. You know, and so I like that. And then on the flip side, those same groups, it's like Thursday is time to go out with the MAG group, but somebody has work that needs to be done. They need a fence fixed, or, you know, they need to clean out their shed, or they need to build something. And even though I don't know some of that, I'll go and we'll all get together and we'll all learn that and practice it or even if it's just fellowship sometimes.
Excellent. Yeah, it reminds me of, I don't know, was it the book Lights Out? There was one of those books I read that they talked about that. They had a mutual aid group. I don't think they called it then, but basically all they did is they pulled a little bit of resources at a cabin that they paid off together, and they had a weapons guy, a medical guy, an agricultural guy, and it was something that kind of reminded me almost like a little A team. Everybody had a specialty, everybody had a backup for the specialty, and then everybody would get together and cross-train. So it makes a lot of sense, because these guys that are like that lone wolf, I'm going to ruck up, put on my battle rattle, and just go off into I don't know where with what and survive. And
they're going to do really well for the first 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Unless they encounter some other bad people or some bad folks, or they fall and break their leg.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some lone wolf of guys.
Yeah.
And they're smart, and some of them are strong and fit, and they're going to go great for a while. But the difference between a lone wolf and a group guy is, as humans, we're group.
We're social creatures.
Yeah, we're supposed to be in groups.
Yeah.
And you can't know everything. You can't sleep you can't sleep and be secure, and you can't garden and fish at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. We don't often appreciate the complexity of just society in general. And I mean, it's a good thing. I don't want to do all these. I don't want to be a trash man. You know what? I just don't have any desire to do that. I'm pretty sure most of the guys I know that are trash men or in waste management probably don't want to be cops or don't want to be firefighters. And a lot of firefighters don't want to be cops, and cops don't want to be firefighters. There's exceptions. But no, we have specialties, and I get that. That's what makes it unique, the sum of the sum of the parts is more than the whole, they say. So awesome. Well, we're going to try to keep this relatively short, really just an introduction to you and what you're doing, and I think you're a great resource. Very genuine. I don't want to be just talking to you because talking about you right here in front of you, but just for the benefit of the audience, Travis is a really genuine, good-hearted guy, but he is very knowledgeable, and if he does know it, he'll tell you, and if he doesn't, he knows somebody, he can point you in that direction. And I'm lucky to have him as a friend, and I mean that with all sincerity and honesty. Don't get misty on me now.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
So we're not big on catchphrases on our blog, vlog, whatever you want to call stuff, but I hear that you have a catchphrase that you use pretty often, and it really kind of has a story behind that. So I'd like to hear that. And of course, if you want to end with that, we can. But we want the backstory on it first.
Sure. Well, anytime on YouTube channels, and even in some articles that I've read my whole life, American Survival Guide has had some writers. Guns and Ammo Magazine has had some writers, and at the end of all their stories, they always tie it up with connecting everything to one phrase, or one sentence. And I like that because, number one, I know when they're done. I know when the thought is, and I can see how they they wrap everything up together, and I like that. And I look forward to that. And if somebody that I watch on a video doesn't say their catchphrase, either at the beginning or the end, I'm like, well, what's wrong? What? Oh no, something's off today. What's going on?
Yeah.
And I got to thinking about what the purpose of my whole channel, what everything that is in NWA Prepper is about getting people to do things together, and to get it done. And so at the end of all my videos, I say, let's get ready. And there it is.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for coming and doing the interview. I really appreciate it. I hope we can get some people pointed your direction. He's a great wealth of information and just an overall good guy. So thanks for the interview. I really appreciate it. And hopefully maybe we can do some collaboration in the future. Or maybe I can win some free swag. I don't know. I'm going to keep competing here if I can. All right, you guys take care. Thank you.